This video, I want to talk about what I think is a key mindset shift that you have to make to get up to having a seven-figure business and beyond. And what is at the core of this is how you think of yourself as a business owner, as a person operating in the capitalist society, where in your mind you think you deserve to be, where you think you are on that hierarchy. And, whether we like it or not, in capitalism, there always is a hierarchy, at least to the extent of money. So one really interesting thing that I'm finding as I go from having a six-figure business and taking the steps to scale up to a seven-figure business is that my mind will try to sabotage it in interesting ways. And that's because I'm going through this transformation shift of seeing myself as someone who makes a six-figure income, is comfortable, everything is easily taken care of, but I'm not that, the really wealthy person, or I don't see myself as being someone that has that big of a business or maybe deserves that big of a business. So what would often happen is that I would make a little bit of progress, I'd build out a system, I'd dial in the sales process, and my subconscious would just find something to get distracted by. Anything as dumb as a video game to, hey, maybe we should change our CRM system. Let me spend 2 days going down a rabbit hole of looking at different software, which in the end doesn't matter at all. It was this like subconscious sabotage. And I still catch myself doing this. And part of it is because, my body knows I don't need to make more money. I have enough to live comfortably now. So when I was only making a little bit of money, it was easy to feel dialed in and motivated and like I needed to make more because it was very apparent in my life the things that I couldn't do because I didn't have enough money. But now that that pain point is gone, there's just less of that innate primal drive to grow and expand. And it's much more of I feel it's much more of actually an intellectual decision, and you kind of have to get your body on board with it after you do that. Whereas, because even the idea of being a millionaire or multimillionaire is very not natural. In the way humans evolved, there was not really a way for a caveman to be a millionaire. They ate what they needed, they worked very hard until they were satisfied, and then they stopped. And I think that caveman DNA is still in us where, we'll work until the point where our needs are met and then that primal drive isn't there. Obviously, there's exceptions to this. Some people are naturally extremely power hungry and just need to keep climbing, but oftentimes that is based in traumas anyway. So personally, I don't really have that, but I do enjoy growth and I do want to build as big of a business as I can. And I do want to have as much power to affect change on the world as I can, which again, in a capitalist society comes down to a pretty big extent to how much money you do have. So intellectually, I know I want to grow. I know I want to grow this business, and it's a constant battle of checking in with ways I might be sabotaging that, and stopping that, like being very conscious about stopping that. So until you get your whole body on board with going to that next level that you want to get to, you're going to constantly find ways to mess it up. And that's why you see some people stuck at a level for years and years and years, and there's always a new reason why they can't get to the next level. But really, oftentimes, the core reason is that they don't see themselves as being someone who is at the next level or is worthy of the next level. So, I'm going through this right now, and it almost seems as I'm building out these systems, logically it makes sense that this is going to really skyrocket the business's growth. But there's the other part of me that sort of wonders, will any of this stuff even work? Because it also comes down to this idea that there's this theory that's widely accepted that you have to work harder to earn more money. And I've definitely met people that earn a lot of money and actually don't work that hard. So there's also something to wrap my head around there, in that these systems I'm building, these changes I'm making, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm actually going to be working any harder. It's just working differently. You know, you could say it's working smarter. And that's another paradigm that needs shifting, is that the relationship between hard work and how much money you earn is not directly proportional. You know, there's people that work extremely hard. You know, I think about labor jobs and things like that, and they'll never make that much money. So hard work is not really the most important factor. You obviously do need to work hard enough to get things done, but I don't think it's the essential ingredient. At least it's not the essential ingredient in going from having a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business, because you can't just muscle your way there. So for people that are watching this, if you're someone that sees yourself, if you're struggling, like I find that this comes into play in 2 key parts. The first one's at the very beginning, where people can't make their first couple $1,000s a month of profit. And that's because they don't see themselves as being capable of running a business. They quit, they go back to get a job. That's the first hurdle that must be overcome. And the second one is where I'm at right now, where you build a business that comfortably supports you, but you're still working in the business, not on it. It's not scaling quickly, it's growing slowly. And that requires a second shift in mindset to really see yourself, and in this case, myself, as, yes, I'm a 7-figure business owner. I can earn exponentially more money while not necessarily working harder. I deserve to be in that position. And it sounds like simple, basic affirmations, but I think it's really powerful, because for me especially, it's crazy. You know, I'm working with a mentor now, and I've joined some masterminds filled with other people that have 7- and 8-figure businesses. And the steps I'm taking are really not complicated. They're fairly simple. It's just for the last year or 2, I didn't do them. So, I mean, it's easier to see that in hindsight, but it wasn't the complexity of the task, the difficulty of the task, the intellectual requirement of the task that had prevented me from scaling to 7 figures, let's say 1 or 2 years ago. It was more limiting beliefs, mindset, and how I saw myself. So I'll leave this rant of a video there, but I hope this gives you guys some value. I'm in the middle of this transition period myself. So once I hit that 7-figure goal, which by the way is just an arbitrary number, there's nothing inherently special about it, but once I get to that next level, I'm looking forward to looking back on this video and seeing how much of these hypotheses I've put out here were correct. Yeah, super interesting. It's like, yeah, it's really cliche, but like, I think it was Steve Jobs that says, you know, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So even as I make this video, I only have the perspective to make it because I'm already part way through that journey of getting to 7 figures. When I was like fully stuck in that 6-figure quicksand, as they call it, I couldn't really see this either. Yeah, so I think it's a fascinating topic. Let me know what you guys think, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. See you later.